ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, citizens of all ages. Welcome back to another edition Star Citizen. And I need to make this video because I just got done watching the latest ISC on Port Olisar, and I think that this is an absolute box of fuckery. Now, if you haven't seen the latest ISC, they're talking about Port Olisar and how in 3.2 or 3.20 they're going to be doing away with it, and they're going to be putting in a new station called Seraphim. And I think it is one of the dumbest ideas they could do. And let me explain why. So, Olisar is such a pivotal part of the verse. For OGs and original backers, when 2.0 came out and had Port Olisar, it's one of the first things in the universe that we all actually experienced. And what they want to do to Port Olisar is why this is so abso-fucking-lutely egregious.
I think that people like it just because it's get in, get out, you know, and there's that kind of feel. There's no transit loops. There's nothing there that basically extends the timeline and the gameplay.
Yes, that is precisely why Port Olisar is so beloved. Now, the problem is they are going to literally turn Port Olisar into just another R&R station. And one of the other things that really gets to me is the fact that they're completely doing away with Port Olisar's bespoke ASOP terminal room. Now, on the one hand, I kind of get it, because, you know, you need to make it all uniform. You need to make it, you know, because of all this other hullabaloo and what have you. But it feels like an absolute just, I don't want to say slap in the face, because that seems way over the top, but it seems very disrespectful. And in the ISC itself, they said, oh, you know, we want to send it off right, and we want to do this, that, the other, but we're just going to remove it for now.
It will be the replacement, so to speak, for Olisar. Olisar is not going anywhere. We know what a historical thing it is for the players.
We will pay proper homage to it later. And we were trying to find ways to basically send it off, but basically for right now, we need to remove it, and then we'll be putting in Seraphim Station in its place, and then in the future, we'll talk about what we're going to do with Port Olisar.
Now, another thing that really, you know, is annoying is they're really nailing home this whole transit system thing. And I think CIG is incredibly tone deaf, or just flagrantly disregarding what the Star Citizens, all the backers, have been saying and asking for. I don't know a single Star Citizen backer, player, whatever you want to call them, that is excited to have to use elevators. It seems like elevators and the trams are just crammed in there. It's almost as if Chris Roberts himself thinks that a train or an elevator is gameplay or a gameplay loop. It's not. It's a time sink, and it's a particularly irritating one. I get it, you know, maybe you have one here or there, but they're literally just copy and pasting, throwing a different coat of paint on it, and saying, oh, look at that, a whole new piece of gameplay. I don't know about you, but, you know, I don't play walking simulators this frequently. If I did, I've got Death Stranding. If I wanted to just stand on a train or sit on a bus or ride up an elevator, I would do that. That's not my idea of fun. I'm playing Star Citizen because I want to fly a spaceship. I want a crew on a spaceship. I want to shoot people in space or on the ground or EVA. You know, I'm not into burning 5-10 particularly more minutes if you hit a crash or a bug just trying to get to the goddamn spaceship. And another thing that was said is talking about the transit. That's the reason why Port Olisar was so popular, because it doesn't have it. It's popular because it's not there.
Port Olisar, it was so small. There was no place to add or grow, and there was no transit loops so that we can fill and block off or open new loops to get to new areas. And with Seraphim, this allows us to continue that same thought process and to get everything that we need to give to the player in that area.
Now, some people would say, this is necessary. This is needed in order to do exactly what they're saying and make it larger. No, we don't need trams. We don't need elevators. You can very easily do what we're doing over in Klesher. You don't need an elevator in Klesher, and there's tons and tons and tons of pods there. The same thing. You can just widen the area out. Have extra doors. I would much rather a much larger, more unique station than another copy-paste R&R. Like, in the video, they basically said, and have been showing, it's just another R&R, just bigger. It's 4 times bigger than Port Olisar, but it's still got the exact same rooms. For the most part, the rooms are fine, but the fact that they're not having the bespoke ASOP terminal room, I think, is the biggest thorn in my side about it. Because Port Olisar was the first. Port Olisar, that big globe, it's very unique, and it gives this kind of mystifying, very intriguing kind of feel to it.
Port Olisar, it was so small. There was no transit loops, so
yeah, and that's how we like it and how we would prefer it to keep going. The transit loops, on the one hand, I can see them being necessary. I can see them being useful. But the entire idea, the entire reason Port Olisar was, and forever will be so popular is because it's not bogged down by the bullshit. It's not being held back by these absolutely irritating mechanics that is a crapshoot if they work. When elevators crap out, guess what? You're stuck. And homie, don't play that. Ain't nobody got time for that. And it definitely seems like I am far from the only one who feels that way. Just looking at some of the Reddit posts alone, I could definitely see there were many, many, many more people who had very similar thoughts to mine. And it really seems like CIG just doesn't understand, or they don't want to understand. And I really hope that this pushback they actually see and will actually take into account and will actually make changes over, because I am not excited about the death of Olisar. I know many, many, many people feel the same way, and the last thing I want is just another generic, shitty fucking R&R above Crusader.
So, what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that Port Olisar's days are numbered when that new hotness Seraphim Station comes online in the upcoming Alpha 320.
And that is going to be a time when the revolt will be real. Yeah. But other than that, I think I'm going to leave the video here. Please let me know your thoughts down below. I'm very curious to know, am I the only one here that feels like that? I know I've got others online that I totally saw. What do you think would be better? Do you understand where they're going with it, or do you also just make Port Olisar a bit bigger, give it another floor or 2 or 3 to fill in for the Habs or other buildings that it may need? Let me know down below in the comments section. Other than that, don't forget to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed the subject matter. And thank you very much for watching. I hope all you beautiful bastards out there have yourselves a wonderful day, morning, evening, whenever, wherever you just so happen to be. This is Will, Daylight Gamer, signing out. Love, peace, chicken grease.